the cosmos. So it's kind of, I mean, you call it a gateway, you call it a portal, and there's a level of light and right, just that is going to come flooding in through that, and it's also going to awaken our abilities to, even beyond technology, transport ourselves. I mean, in a way, technology is a bit of a supplement, like training wheels, until we really understand that, well, where does all this come from? We have those abilities. So the Venus Stargate and the natural Stargate that has been created through nature, there's man-made Stargates too, but this one is specifically created through the forces of nature, without any manipulation, except for someone like me and Christ and all of those who are awake are promoting and creating and establishing to lift, to just be able to bring it in. And so it takes clearing a lot out of the way and bringing a lot of the energy in. And you know, so it's kind of like I've left a lot of different trails in the universe, in the multi-dimensions, and it's like without even knowing, it's like, how do I do this? It's like, how can I explain it? It's kind of like when I look at some artists or I look at, you know, everybody else's work, I'm amazed at what people can do. So, you know, it's funny, I'm thinking, gosh, well, this is the work I do, and how the heck do I do this? This is so weird, but I just do it. And what's great is it's really important for me to sit down with people that can see me clearly, because I have a hard time articulating it, and, you know, it just helps me, like, yes, that is it. Yep, that's right. So, hopefully I'll get to know people like William Henry better and who really does speak the language that others can understand more than the way I'm trying to share it. But when one thinks about just like a pyramid and just how, you know, different ways that light, you know, and vortexes and just the whole nature, I mean, the whole planetary grid is going to be activated, and this is, you know, just another thing that it's part of what I was saying before about transmutation and the activation of the light body. It's going to change. It's going to flood, you know, the veins of the earth, and that's another interesting thing about the Divine Feminine, about that interview I had where somebody, I don't even know if I should even go there, but about that orb and Eve and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting because, you know, one is awakened to these technologies and this and that, and then there's this whole other thing that had nothing to do with the agencies and their desire to get me to Mars. There was very archetypal, strange things, spells put on me. Somebody who had an interview with a woman in 1980 who told him that he was going to meet Sophia, and that she was our mother, and described physically exactly how this person looked, exactly how their personality was, exactly what their past was like, and how she's drowning in her humanness, and blah, 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 and just, you know, but this is really what it's about, and explained everything about all the tribes, and Adam, I mean, it's just like mind-blowing stuff. There's only one document that exists, and I have it. He gave it to me. It's not like been photocopied. I can't even locate this man, so he's the only other person that has it. I've actually sent it to maybe one or two people that I knew could handle it, but, you know, this is just as much of a whistleblower as anything, because this is really going to explain a lot about religion and about everything that a lot of people are trying to figure out about Eden, about, so that's a whole other thing that, you know, eventually should be opened up more, and it needs, like me, people are going to need a little bit of proof, and I understand that because I was a skeptic when I first read that, but at the same time, it's like the cells in my body would just start to like shudder and just like, oh gosh, you know, everything that this is saying is I feel it, it's true. I mean, describing countless children and tribes and this orb and the elixir of life and how to create, you know, this thing, and she used it to stay alive. And so anyway, I met him, and he had given me that, and I read it. It said, you know, describe me, my height, my eye color, my hair, you know, my everything. So he also admitted that he didn't know I was 7 years old when they had the interview, and so he, you know, after 3 years or so, just was getting frustrated with searching for me and created a very, very powerful spell that I started to feel at a young age, and so I read a lot about that people might be interested in, how I broke free. I had to, you know, confront him and really get, you know, my energies back. And it got out of control. It wasn't his intention to do that, but I could feel that yank on me. And what was funny, when I finally let go, because it would control me. It's like no matter how much I tried to create, no matter how many opportunities I tried to jump for to just have a normal life, I'm being pulled in this and that direction. So one time I let go, and I just, okay, well, where does this force want me to go? Because I have to confront it, because it's really messing with me. I can work really hard to defy it, but it's exhausting. So I just kind of let that force take me where it wanted, and boom, I met him. And he gave me that interview and admitted to that spell, and we worked out the dates where I started to feel this, and he apologized, and I was like, that's okay. Now I'm going to go deal with Mars. And the next person I met was Agent X, who I'll call Agent X, at that festival, which was about 3 months later after I broke free of this other person. So it's one thing after another. And what was funny in the interview, it said she'll be caught up in one adventure after another. I wouldn't, and it's just like endless. So, and then of course my ex, who was highly possessed by these forces, and there was no rest for me since I was a young kid. And that's why coming out with all this, a lot of it for me is to also have normalcy. It's like, it sounds very off the wall to share this, but in a way, maybe I can have a normal life now, and I'm not going to carry the burden anymore. I'm not going to. It's like I'm just kind of handing it over.
Yeah, you're right. I knew that. Excuse me. I knew that putting a stop to me was being planned for lifetimes, and it was ancient. I knew I was being targeted, so I never felt like a victim, more a warrior who refused to be defeated.
Yeah. Right, so it's like, it's so true. And I would keep on going if I had to, but, I would hope that soon I can, I have no concept of what it means to really relax and really ground, and it's not because I want to be on vacation. It's because I know if I do that, if I'm just allowed to have peace and support, and people are really aware of this, and the truth is out about these technologies and about Mars and all this kind of stuff, all this energy will just settle in, and the 94% that is just unable to come onto this planet is going to be able to come. Because when somebody's all stressed and they're always looking over their shoulder, and one thing after another, and everybody they're meeting is behind some sort of agenda or is being chipped, or it's just, I've never, this is one of the first years of my life that I've been around my allies and my family who have stayed clear and who have served, this in themselves. And it's like, to be able to meet everybody that have stayed this strong, it's just like, I told you the other day you're my hero, so it's like, it's just huge. I'm just having love shared between people is a huge victory. Just to feel community again. I haven't felt that in a long time. So, but I really do know that if I can just relax and I'm not in danger anymore, an immense amount of energy is going to come into this planet that has not been here at all. And then it's going to come through a lot of females, not just me.
So do you feel something?
And women, sorry.
Yeah. So you have mentioned something special about the year 2011. So how do you feel about that?
Well, 2011. Well, I mentioned that my birthday and year added up to that, and I know things are really going to accelerate at that point, and we're really on the threshold. We've already started the shift, but around that time we're really going to be on the cusp of. Kind of like, how a teacher says, well, by 6th grade, we really know, if a child's going to be into high school and if they're going to really succeed. When it comes to this year and next year, this is when we're really going to know, like, what is left, what do we need to do. We all are awake now and fully, on target. So as this year and the next year rolls around, we're going to have a really clear idea of, like, okay, what needs to happen. I know there's going to be a lot more teamwork. So around 2011, it's just going to be clear, what obstacles are left, and they're going to stand out like sore thumbs. They're not going to be sort of unconscious things that we give our power to that we don't notice anymore. We're really going to be empowering what's been hidden, and it's just going to expose, and bust everything that's not working. So around 2011, I just see all of that getting stripped away and just, really cleaning up. And like I said, the planet in a way is detoxing from all these technologies, but they need to be located and destroyed. And energetically, we can do it through whistleblowing. And like I said, my dream, there's only a few that I trust. A lot of them are just wacko dreams, but there's a few that are so darn obvious to me and profound that have saved my life. So, energetically, we've got it covered with just the truth. But, it would be, we can dismantle this technology just through the power of our beings alone. But it might not hurt to just locate them and investigate the names that I mentioned to, it's a crime to humanity. I'm not saying that, I'm not here to punish. I'm here to forgive. But, these things need to be located.
Yeah, sure. We just finished recording, and it'll be broadcast on Monday, February 8th, an in-depth program with independent scientist Loren Murray, who's done a whole series for us on HAARP, weather modification, and earthquakes, that the Haiti earthquake was triggered by HAARP, and that with HAARP as a weapon of mass destruction, and more people died there than in the Hiroshima bombs.